All right, ready to roll?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you may be located. Welcome to our 72nd show. 72!
You sure it's 72?
72.
Not 71?
71 was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You can check my numbers because I've been numbering them.
Okay.
Anyway, it is August 24th, 2018. We have a lot of big things planned for today, so I'm gonna speed up the introduction per se. A brief thank you. Again, we do this for you. And again, if you're just tuning in, we have always wanted to hear tennis news quite often in a nice professional way, and we never get that on local radio like a lot of other sports. So we said, you know what, we're gonna do it. So if it's not for you, we don't exist in terms of this. So much love to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Much love for that. So appreciate it, and thanks so much. Definitely.
Thank you.
Furthermore,
Especially those Djokovic fans. Thank you.
Yeah. Furthermore, I mean, it's an absolute pleasure to speak tennis with people all over the world. I think I looked at some statistics today. Only 42% of our viewers are in the U.S. The largest percentage being Serbia, Jamaica, Morocco, Singapore. Australia, and there's a couple I'm missing, but nonetheless, we're 42% here, and that would make us more.
I saw some Mexico too.
Yeah. So let's go. The beautiful thing about the game, though, is it's like mathematics. It's like a language. If you can play it, no matter where you are in this world, tennis makes it a very small world.
And even if you can't play, if you just enjoy the sport, that's great in itself.
Yeah, to me,
there's people that can't play the game, but they do follow it and they love it and they understand it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's international language. You can see a tennis player or a tennis enthusiast from a mile away. By the way they walk, they speak, they talk, and yeah, there's some hooligans in the mix. But nonetheless, the majority of tennis players and tennis enthusiasts are generally quite unique individuals in their own rights.
Right.
Well, let's go. All right, so a huge day today, believe it or not. We are going to go a maximum of 2 parts. We've gotten drilled for being too long. So with that said, if we get to...
Well, some people said it, go 4, go 5, but
well,
we're going to try to keep it at 2.
Yeah, they would be the minority. The majority says, I can't quite finish them. It's impossible, quote unquote, someone said.
Right.
So we'll cap it at 2. So if we get through part 2 and we don't finish the draws that we're going to talk about and a lot of topics that we have, a lot of topics that you have, then we'll stop it at 2 and resume tomorrow because, again, we have until Sunday, really and truly, to go over the draws. All right? So let's go. Let's go. First off, the prize, the giveaway tennis racket that I or we have been mentioning. To qualify for the tennis racket, you need to put in your fantasy team, or not fantasy teams, but your men's finalists. So which 2 men will make the final and the winner, and then which 2 women make the final and the winner. If you win both of those, if you hit them both, you get a tennis racket. I'm going to show you the racket. It's a very nice racket. So it's kind of it would be kind of naive or just. You should just put in your picks no matter what.
Yeah, there's some people that put their men's and no women's, so just put both of them.
Yeah, no, if you win one of them, if you win the men's or the women's, and that's fine, you can win one, but you won't get the racket. You'll get like a set of strings or a couple over grips or something like that. But the racket is here. All right. So, 100 square inch head, 4 1/4 grip, leather grip under the fresh over grip. It's 11.1 ounces unstrung, so it's probably about 11.2, 11.3 now. That's Solenco Hyper G strings. No compensation for me on that. This is off my wall. This is what we hit with. Dampener with the red eye. So it's a quality racket. You'll enjoy it. But if you guess the men's and women's, okay, I'll send you this. If it's a tie, then we'll figure something out. If you get one of them, I'll send you a set of strings or a set of grips or whatever. So that also helps you out as well. But Rajesh, we need your women's picks to qualify for that. And Stimpy Boy has his picks in, but we'll get to that in just a minute. So I only have 1 set of picks for this. And with Stimpy's picks, I don't think he's going to do that well.
Stimpy, what were you thinking?
What are those picks, bro?
Dimitrov?
All right.
You know what? We'll give him a chance. We'll give him a chance to change that one if he wants.
Well, no. I mean, hey, you put your picks in. You can't go to like a casino and be like, I want to take my card back.
True.
It's played. We'll get into that in a minute.
Maybe he'll win. Who knows?
Could win. It's possible. I think Wawrinka's going to have something else to say about that, though. All right, so second thing, Kane in California. Kane is a viewer here. He's left a lot of really nice comments. He mentioned he was in California. That's where I am from. I was born in San Francisco.
He's in LA, right?
I didn't see the answer.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the comments I didn't get a chance to see. Carla's been on top of that. Again, sometimes my older mindset.
Older mindset? You're only a year older than me, or two, almost two.
Man, sometimes that stuff, all that reading, I love it, and we discuss it at length. But sometimes
he's from LA. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for me to keep up with, nonetheless. So LA. So personally, he was born in San Francisco when I was about the age of 2. We moved to Encinitas, California, down south. So LA, not terribly far away from me. I'm not terribly familiar with LA. I've been through there a lot, but San Diego, Encinitas for me, and San Francisco. Of course, I've been through LA, but I'm not very familiar with it. I think my father had a place there on like Indian Hill Boulevard, or I don't know. Anyway, I didn't know he was from LA, so that was after I read it.
LA, yeah.
So he answered it. All right, let's go. Federer's draw is rough for the U.S. Open. That's not our draw.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So Federer's draw is rough. Stimpy Boy brought up this comment not long ago, which is kind of backed up a lot of Stimpy's questions in a sense. So I think Stimpy has been an investigative journalist for a while, and trying to put some sense in between athletes, Nike being sponsored, and sometimes have padded draws. I've heard, again, from many different examples, me growing up over the years, and is it a conspiracy theory? Possibly, but
he got a terrible draw.
Stimpy may be onto something here. So usually, correct me if I'm wrong, and please interject if I'm wrong, but as I remember, and again, I've kept up with Federer since they won, and I don't think there's many matches that I've missed. You know what I mean? And I usually, it's a Djokovic Nadal semi. And then Federer doesn't have usually
most of the time it's a Djokovic Nadal semi. Most of the time.
Not saying always.
Not always. But he didn't get a really good draw this US Open. And it seems almost like because he's not with Nike, they're making him known. I don't know if that's how the draws are set up, but
yeah. So I think he would
not the greatest draw for Federer. If he won it, wow, he would prove a lot of us wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Federer would have to. He would have to. We're going to talk about draws a little bit later, but Federer would have to meet Djokovic in potentially the 4th round, maybe Zverev or Cilic in the quarters. I mean, it's tougher than normal. And maybe Stimpy was always hitting the nail on the head about, sometimes the Nike athletes.
Well, Federer would have to face Kyrgios if he gets that far, and he could lose that match.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up because, again, Stimpy had us do some research and our thoughts on whether certain brands can...
Yeah, Djokovic in the quarters.
And for me, it's more of a conspiracy theory and just food for thought, fodder for us to talk about. Do I really believe it? Not really, but just sheer luck. Just sheer luck, maybe, that we get a draw after Federer goes to a different brand. And it's much more difficult than I can recall ever.
I'm looking at it right now because I didn't really look at it. If Pair wins, which could be a tough match for him, too.
So Federer will face...
Pair in the second round.
So he could face... So Federer could play Pierre, then Kyrgios.
Is that how you say it, Pierre?
So, look, I'll go ahead and tell you. Federer right off could take on Pereira, or excuse me,
Pierre.
Herbert Pierre in the 2nd round. And the 3rd round, Kyrgios. Oh, man. And then potentially...
Chung is a tough player.
And then potentially Fognini. Fognini, I think Federer at his worst will beat Fognini. But then
Chung could beat him.
But
Chung
yeah,
has a chance.
maybe a Chung in there. You'd have to I think Chung's got no shot this year. Then he would have to look at either Cilic, Goffin.
Well, he's got here too, Gasquet, or which I don't think we Puig.
And you got Puig in there.
Carreno Busta is a good.
And then ultimately to meet Nadal or Djokovic. Wow.
You'd have to go Cilic, Djokovic, if you beat Djokovic, and that's going to be tough in itself.
Tough draw. Man, makes me think about Stimpy's comment. Let's go, Stimpy. Is Stimpy right? Do the bigger brands influence the draws makers at all in order to enable their brands to be on camera longer? I don't know.
Djokovic got
I don't believe it, but man.
Djokovic got a dream draw, honestly.
All right, moving forward. Monfils. Let's go, Monfils. Love Monfils. Love him. He's got a good little section, so we're going to get into that when we discuss draws. I like Monfils. He can do big things as long as, well, actually, I tell you what, he always does big things, except I think he's played Djokovic a couple times, and he has not figured out still yet how to beat Djokovic, and he tends to like get all kind of funky on the court to try to throw Djokovic off. And then Djokovic just continues to walk through. And you remember that was like the U.S. Open one year?
Yeah, there was. Like, he had one a set off of him or something, yeah, like, and then he let go of the pedal.
Yeah, like I think Djokovic was up 2-0, and Monfils was just trying anything to get in the match. So he started like acting really weird and like, you know,
returning close, returning really far, just doing funky things like
just to try to throw him off.
Does.
Yeah, tried to throw him off, and unfortunately Djokovic just rolled right through. Anyway. Venus and Serena to meet in the third round. What's up with this? Is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I think half the people are like, good, let's get one of them gone. They won enough, and then the other half are like, oh, they must hate them now. I wish the best for both. I like both players.
I think the U.S. Open, when they make this draw, whoever makes a draw at the U.S. Open, I don't think they have the same love for the sisters anymore. I mean, Venus, I think, is past her tennis career has passed her by. She's had a bad year. I don't think they wanted to see both sisters. They didn't have to put Serena at number 17. They really didn't. Why? She had a bad hard-court season. I think they didn't want to see two Williams sisters, so they figure, oh, they meet in the third round, one gets eliminated, most likely Venus.
I honestly don't know how to answer that.
I think so. I mean, back in the early 2000s, late 2000s, I used to get so mad when I used to see both Williams sisters, because I didn't want to see that. I don't think people want to see that anymore. They want to see new people.
I wish the best for both.
You don't say anything?
I like them both.
I mean, I know them both, but
for me, I wish the best for both of them. I think Serena will climb past that round, and I think we'll see Serena go.
Well, she's got Halep.
I mean, we all think about.
Justin, I'm sorry. Think about it. Venus plays Kuznetsova in the first round.
That's a tough match. Kuznetsova could win that, hands down. By the way, Kuznetsova used to hit with this.
Tough round.
Anyway, but Kuznetsova is a great match. Venus could easily lose that. Maybe it's going to be a pre-planned loss, so that way they don't have to play each other in the third round.
And then if Georgie wins, she's got her next.
Georgie's a tough customer too, but Serena's going to go through.
No, I'm not talking about Serena. Venus.
Well, either way, I'm just saying Serena's going to beat Venus. We can't forget that Serena was just in the Wimbledon final. She lost to Kerber convincingly, obviously. But just because she lost 0-1 on the same day as some traumatic thing in her past, which everyone reacts emotionally different. So we can't make excuses like, oh, well, that was in the past. No one knows how someone can react psychologically.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think we see Serena go well into the tournament. She'll face Halep, I think, at some point.
Third round. Fourth round.
Third or fourth round, maybe a quarter, maybe third. But I still think, again, don't forget Serena was just in the Wimbledon final.
They'll meet in the fourth round.
I still think with the New York crowd behind Serena, I still think she beats Halep.
I think so too.
Let's go!
I just don't see Halep winning a U.S. Open.
Wawrinka and Dimitrov in the first round again. What is this?
Either they don't like Dimitrov, and they're like, go back to your partying, or they really have faith in Wawrinka winning again.
Well, for me, I think it's an unfortunate waste of getting the opportunity to see two good players for a couple of days, so one of them's going home on the first day. We saw this at Wimbledon. I inadvertently, and I say that.
And Wawa was at worst. Wawrinka was playing worse than what he's playing now.
Exactly. So I took Dimitrov for my Wimbledon fantasy team pick, one of the top 5, and he got beaten by Wawrinka there. I think Wawrinka's better right now. So that, I mean, I would think...
And he's better on hard court.
Yeah, and he's unseeded. So Wawrinka could be a good unseeded pick, but I still wouldn't want to throw my unseeded pick away on Dimitrov, because Dimitrov could win as well. If Dimitrov plays very good, he can win. He can win. So therefore, I think I have to alleviate both players on my fantasy team, because why would I want to do a coin toss at the very beginning of the tournament? That's what I did at Wimbledon, and I lost Dimitrov on day 1 to Wawrinka.
I'm a risky player in tennis, and I think I'm going to be risky.
Anyway, I'd love to see, maybe them meet in the third round, but this is 2 tournaments in a row.
Yeah, it's not right.
Well, we're going to lose Wawrinka or Dimitrov on the first day, and I'm not saying I'm a big... Well, I like Wawrinka more than Dimitrov, but I still, think he's...
It's not right. They could have put Wawrinka somewhere else.
Still like to see them both go deeper, but unfortunately, someone's going home.
Yeah.
The 2 Frenchmen, Gasquet and Pouille, they have okay little sections. Do we think?
Point toss.
Do we think that do you think that Pouille or Gasquet have the chance to methodically get to a few rounds?
Yes, a few rounds. Yes, they'll get through a few rounds.
I forget where they show up, but we're gonna get into
until they
this.
face Djokovic.
We're gonna get into this, and okay. So look, Gasquet has Djokovic potentially in the third round. Okay,
that's it for him.
You have Pouille that has Carreno Busta maybe in the third round.
I mean, and
then Federer maybe. Oh, so Pouille could have Federer in the fourth round.
Well, before you even go that far, I mean, there's Baghdadis, there's Yuzny in there, Yassiri. I mean, they have a tough little section.
All right, here we go. This is big time stuff here. This comes from Stimpy Boy. Is the first person that's gotten in their male and female or WTA and ATP picks for the giveaway of the Racquet. The Racquet. Okay. His picks for the final and the winners are, here we go, drum roll.
You know we had instruments, you could have used them.
Oh shoot, you should get one of those. Dimitrov and Djokovic in the final with Djokovic winning. Mark it down, Stimpy, that's your picks. Djokovic, Dimitrov final, Djokovic winning. The women, Bertens playing Sloane Stephens with Bertens winning. Possible? Obviously, I agree with Djokovic and Djokovic winning. Dimitrov, I'm out. He's probably going to get trounced by Wawrinka, and if not, it'll happen not too much later, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe not. He could pull it off. And then Bertens, I like Bertens a lot. I can't tell anybody who my fantasy team picks are until the tournament starts when it locks, but I can tell you Bertens is a possibility for me. So I like the Bertens pick. Sloane Stephens, I'm kind of out on this one. I know she rode through the final this year, but I think if she had to meet Serena, I don't think she's in Serena's half, by the way. Okay, so yeah, they are in the same half. So I think if Serena ever met Sloane, I think Serena would go ahead and own that. So I'm going to stick with Serena out of those two because I think there's a lot.
You picked Serena? I thought it was Sloane's and Bertens.
No, I'm just saying for me, if Sloane and Serena met, and that's how I would choose who I would pick between those two ladies, I think I would still pick Serena.
Yeah.
But he has Bertens and Stephens in the final with Bertens winning.
I'll say something, Stimpy. That's pretty gutsy.
That's gutsy.
It's probably different from what 90% of the world is going to go, you know? I only would pick one out of all those people that he picked, which is Djokovic.
Djokovic.
Yeah.
Well, for the finalists, you mean?
For the finalists.
I mean, I would still put.
I'm not saying that that's what I'm picking, but looking at his 4 picks, Djokovic to me would be the one that has the best chance out of all those.
Yep.
You know?
All right, and so the only other picks that we have in, again, for this racket, or strings or grips, is Stimpy's, which has both now completed, and Rahesh. And Rahesh put out there, Nadal Djokovic final with Djokovic winning. Great final. I think it's very logical. I definitely agree with it. And I need your women's. Just pull them out of a hat. I mean, it's worth a shot at the racket. I mean, why not? Just pick a number and then just find them on the draw. I mean, it would be better shot than no shot, right? Mm-hmm. So can't win the lottery if you don't play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
that's all I've got. I'm going to extend the deadline. I'll give you a couple days because I have to realize that people can't just stop at the drop of a hat and find 30 minutes in their busy day to look at this. So I'll extend it for a couple days. When draws lock, which would be, Sunday night late, because I think matches start Monday morning, that's when we're going to lock the draws up. So just post them. And again, you can join us on a site called GrandSlamFantasyTennis.com, and our group within that for the fantasy team selections is ATP and WTA for players. And again, if you go there and want to do a fantasy team, if the site comes up and has all your players already filled in, you have to go through and hit remove on each player about 100 times. So it can be a pain in the rear end. But nonetheless, you can join us there as well. Serena's cat suit banned at the French Open. I was just telling them how to do the fantasy team and so forth, and then I just brought up Serena's cat suit at the French Open being compromised and not allowed. What do you think?
I think that's ridiculous, preposterous. I mean, why do they bother this lady? Why? And I was telling him, I seen girls at the French Open play with short little skirts, and when they bend over, you can see half of their whatever, and they're bothering Serena over a catsuit that covered her completely, just because she's a voluptuous woman by nature. She's naturally voluptuous. It's too much for them. I disagree with that whole thing. And the French Open, I mean, the French Open is supposed to be fun because people wear all these bright colors and funky clothes. And then they're going to ban that? They must not like her at all. I mean, it's the, out of all the Grand Slams, I think she's won the French Open the least, right? And not only that, when she played Henning, the crowd would boo her a lot.
You done?
I think it's stupid.
I completely...
What do you say I'm done?
Okay, well, let me finish. You're going to interrupt me the whole time.
Okay.
I already know. Look, I'm going to say it about a sentence. She's going to be like, but wait a minute. I agree with Roland Garros here or the French Open, respectively. First and foremost, I like Serena. There's Wasp. I like Serena a lot. She has dominated the game for a while, and there's nothing that anyone can take away from that, right? First of all, like Serena a lot. I think at some point in time, though, okay, let me make a metaphor. If you went to a business meeting, let's say you're at work, you have to go to business meetings. Would you roll up to a business meeting with a Speedo on? How about you just answer the question?
The metaphor is bad.
Why don't you just...
That's a bad metaphor.
Wait a minute, time out.
That's a bad metaphor.
Let me finish before you talk.
You comparing business to tennis?
Can I please talk?
That's a bad... You're asking me. That's a bad metaphor.
Can I talk? Please.
You're asking me.
But you're not thinking straight.
I am thinking straight.
No, you're not.
That makes no sense, Justin.
Can you stop for a second?
Sure.
Because you're going to make it go too long.
Okay.
Damn. I wouldn't roll up to a business meeting in a Speedo. Look, I wouldn't do too much in a Speedo unless I just had to, okay? Follow me here. You go to a major tournament, much less any tournament for that matter, and you're getting a $3 million check, 1.5, whatever, you're getting paid a lot. I think I've even worked out the mathematics that if you get to the finals of a major, you've basically made like $750,000 a match or something. I forget it, and I have to look back at the numbers. But I've done this with my dad, trying to figure out these numbers. We figured like Kevin Anderson made like $750,000 an hour in one match. We were like, he's complaining about not having a tiebreaker in the fifth set. It's like, what? How could you complain about no tiebreaker?
Get to your point.
Anyway, so she's going to work. That's her place of business. That's how she gets sponsors, and that's how she gets paid. So therefore, she's going to work. Do you agree or disagree with that? That's all I'm asking.
Agree.
You can't disagree with that. It's factual.
And it's a Nike on it, right?
Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to work, and then you roll up in Lycra spandex. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I love Serena. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm the dude that runs the French Open, I don't want to see Catwoman. I can check that out in the latest Batman movie. That's all I'm saying.
She wasn't wearing a mask.
So I'm just saying, Serena, again, I like you a lot. But
disagree.
You can't roll up to work in spandex.
I disagree with you.
I don't.
But it's okay when girls go play tournaments with their tight little booty shorts that are supposedly shorts.
And they do that at the French Open?
With a tight, yes, there's many different outfits. As a tennis player, you should be able to express yourself. What is this, a dictatorship?
Okay, what happens at Wimbledon? Could you pull that off at Wimbledon?
Wimbledon is different because they have royalty. And you still have to follow that tradition, which one day I know that they'll kill that tradition.
So, okay, wait a minute. You want to talk about politics? Okay, so they're a monarchy.
This is a sport where you're supposed to express...
They're a monarchy, but you don't think in France they have politicians in their respective governments? Why aren't they royalty?
I don't know. I'm not getting into politics.
Look, if you're going to go to work...
Sorry, I disagree with you.
All right, we'll agree to disagree.
So girls can show their asses, and I'm sorry to say that.
Who said anything about showing asses?
They can wear super tight shirts.
Yeah, sorry about that. You gotta watch her. She gets all fired up.
I'm just saying that makes no sense. It would be different if she was... At the U.S. Open, she wore 2 times. She wore really bad outfits. One was with the denim skirt, and the shirt was like up to here, which I thought, okay.
But that's the U.S. Open. We're not talking about the U.S. Open. We're talking about the French Open.
And then she wore these tight booty shorts.
What does that have to do? We're talking about that. Look, Wimbledon says dress all white with not a lot of sponsorships, just a little flash here and there.
They never had that rule before.
You can't even be a spectator there and not be dressed right. They won't let you come in. The French Open is simply saying, we're a prestigious tournament. We're going to pay you guys $3 million if you win the darn thing. Could you at least put something on that's decent? That's all I'm saying.
Look,
that's all I'm saying.
Thematic Sands wears at Wimbledon the stupid socks up here, right?
Now look,
the dumb outfits, and they still let her play.
Well, and I understand. I even did research on this banning because that's quite a big leap. Because if you play your cards wrong, you can get in some moral and ethical issues. Telling a girl to change her attire, that can be personal. But I had to look at it, and I had to tell myself, why would she really wear this thing? Is it comfortable? Is it medically feasible? And yeah, supposedly she had
it is comfortable.
Well, and also it would help some surgical areas because of childbirth, and I thought that was respectable. But I think that there are under straps. I don't think that the cat suit is presentable for center court Roland Garros. I mean, when I saw her come out in that, you and I were both like, "What is she wearing?"
But I understood her.
We both said that. So now I just remember that we watched the match and she was like, "What has she got on?" And now she's talking about it's cool. So which way
but
is
I'm
it?
just saying they shouldn't tell a player don't wear that. I could understand if she was showing something. Maybe I mean, it's like wearing tights. I play with tennis in tights, and you don't say anything.
Because I like that, but some people don't. I say the shorter her shorts, the better. Let's go.
And French people, and French usually they're more, the women are more liberal with their clothes and all that. They're all about the fashion.
Okay, well the tennis.
And I could understand she was trying to be all fashion at France.
All right, well, obviously the tournament directors and sponsorships of that respective tournament disagree.
Okay.
Are we?
They disagree.
They
Can't
disagree
do anything about that.
All right. Next time. I had Rajesh's picks written here, but I've already said that. Feliciano Lopez and Fernando Verdasco in a first round match. Fun match to watch. I like Lopez.
Me too.
Carla brought this up today. We were driving, just so you know, we don't just do this here. I mean, we are in the car and we were driving, and Carla just busts out, quote, "If we have men's next generation tennis thing with the Zverevs and the Kyrgioses and all these guys, why don't we have a women's? Why don't we have a women's next gen?"
I don't get it. Look, we got the guys that they're trying to promote, but what about the girls?
But yeah, we don't want it. We're not bringing it up.
No, I don't want it.
We're not bringing it up.
But I'm just saying it's unfair.
Yeah, we're not bringing it up for being a proponent of getting it for the women. It's more like, man, the men don't even need it. Fact of the matter is you need to win. You need to win no matter what your age is, just like tennis has been for 1,000 years. You know what I mean? Win or don't win. It's not. It seems like with the next gen stuff on the men's side, it's a bunch of kids running around that can never overcome the top 3 guys, and because of that, I guess the media and the tournament people and the bankers and everything else are like, oh well, shoot, these people are finally, the mainstream fans are already getting burnt out on these 3. They want to see some new stuff, but unfortunately, they're never in the tournaments long enough to get there. So therefore, let's just make this whole new next gen thing. The women don't need that because, I mean, you got Anisimova, that's 16, looking good. You got that young Kenin girl. Well, she's not that young.
Well, there's a reason why. In women's tennis, there's nobody that's really dominant. Think about it. It's like a lot of viewers say. It's like one wins here, the next time another one wins. It's not dominant. These younger generation, the male side, can't beat the top 3 guys.
So, okay. So, what about when Djokovic, Nadal, Federer retire? Is it going to be just like the women's side where everybody's fluctuating in and out? How can you withstand next gen when those 3 go? Because it's going to be a sad day. It's going to be like when Marcelo Rios was jumping around and Kerber and all these guys.
We're all going to cry. I'm sure you guys are going to agree. So we're all going to cry and turn off the TV.
Remember, marketing is sometimes a pile of poop. And for me, the next gen thing, again, respective to all the players, I think it's a pile of poop.
Well, the other thing is, why do guys have the Raw Labor Cup and women don't have anything like that? They're making, again, more money, and yet they're crying about that women get paid the same, but yet they're making more money.
That's a great point.
How unfair is this? Are we what era are we living in?
Yeah, I don't know. I still see.
They get all the marketing, extra money, and women get nothing.
Yeah, she's right. So yeah, there is no women's version of Next Gen, and there is no women's version of Labor Cup. So yeah, I mean, so the guys can go out and win. No disrespect to the guys, but I mean, give some props to these ladies. They work equally as hard, but they don't have a chance to go win $250,000 a year because they're sitting there fighting, trying to battle for one. But unfortunately, it almost seems like these next gen guys know they can't be 1, 2, or 3, so they're just going to see if they can battle for 4, and that's not how this game works. Let's fight to number 1 or not. Go big or don't go big at all.
Thing, Justin,
let's go.
A lot of some of these top players that I won't mention names are not. They don't agree with women getting paid the same. Yet a lot of these women that are playing are moms now, and they have kids, and they're the head of the household. So again, how is this fair?
Yeah, like 39-year-old Patty.
Some of these guys have to stay quiet. They have to.
Look at Patty Schnieder at 39. They just got through qualies in the U.S. Open main draw. 39. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. She made it.
Yeah, she's my age. I was impressed by that. I was like, wow.
I think you could beat her though. I watched her. I watched her player quali match. She beats Schnieder.
Yeah, but I don't have the desire to do that.
She beats Schnieder. I already know. I think you. I'm not even exaggerating. I would say maybe a 7-5, 6-3, something like that. You got that.
It's impressive. I used to watch Patty Schnyder when she was playing Serena, the younger Serena. You know, remember? She played Hingis too.
All right, so we're at 29 minutes, so we're gonna end this wasp flying over my head. We're gonna end part 1 right here. And just to finish off that topic, it's sad that the females seemingly have to fight their way to number 1 with no next gen, no Labor Cup. They don't obviously make near as much money when you look at it with all the extras and the massive lucrative sponsorship deals. They have to resort into Instagram models and showing their backsides and making calendars and swimsuits, and that's unfortunate. I think if we're going to talk about equal prize money and people griping about it shouldn't be, I think you need to offer some of the same things to them.
Sure.
Or
put their matches on TV more, on regular channels, and not where we have to search it. And
yeah, I mean, believe me, they work equally as hard. There's good reasons why they don't play 3 out of 5 sets. We've talked about it before. The biology, the physiology, female versus male, but they work very, very, very hard. Let's go, lady. Let's go. All right, so we haven't even gotten to viewer comments or draws at all. So I'm stopping here, or we are stopping here. We're going to go right into viewer comments, and then however much time we have left, we'll start with the draws. And then if we run out of time, we have until Sunday to go over the draws. All right? Like the video, share the video, subscribe to our channel. Again, we enjoy doing this. If it's not for you, we don't. Don't forget to get your picks in for the Racquet. All right? Don't forget. It's a nice stick. Light scratches only. You'll like it. All right? Let's go. Get it done. All right? Part 2 coming up.